Hi, my name is Jason George and I'm a wildlife photographer. A lot of people want to know what I talk about in my presentations, so I decided to record this recent presentation. Unfortunately, at points during this presentation, I talk about this awkward flyer that was released promoting it. If you want to know more about this situation, you can listen at the end of the presentation.
So I am here to introduce our guest, and it's easy enough to go with the Jason George introduction on his website. But what I find deeply rewarding to know about Jason, and by the way, this is why I asked to do his introduction, is how wonderful his passion is for what he does. I'm no longer surprised when I see Jason at an event. Webcat beach cleanup, Jason is there. And not just taking pictures, he's actively picking up garbage. Does anybody remember the TV we found in the bushes?
Yeah.
My kids took a picture.
Yes. And plus he's creating learning moments for the young participants. I go to a skydiving event. There's Jason. My goodness, I go to work and Jason is at my retirement lodge doing a presentation to the residents. Well, I can keep going. I'm the board secretary for Making Change, which is a Simcoe County Black cultural organization. We created a school event with Pinball Clemens as the guest speaker. Of course, Jason knows Pinball Clemens and is happy to MC the event. Making Change feels very fortunate to have Jason as one of our art mentors, working with and inspiring our youth. It's good to have Jason here with us at Rotary this evening. Please join me in welcoming him and be prepared to be inspired.
How's everybody doing today? Hey, so I've got a little bit of an agenda. Some of you don't know who I am. I want to tell you a little bit about me. I also want to show you some of my favorite pictures, and I'm going to show you some like black and white wildlife. And then I also want to do an eye training activity with you. So a little bit about me that most of you probably don't know is I'm dyslexic, and I didn't say my first word until I was 4. So for that reason, I appreciate if people hold their questions till the end. If you hold your questions till the end, I promise you I will be open and honest with every single question that you ask. Is that a cool deal to me?
Okay.
And I promise you I'll show you some really cool pictures. But I'm going to address the elephant in the room. And so that flyer that we're talking about, that flyer was shared. And I don't think anyone in this room well, some people might think that that looks like me. But it actually almost stopped a couple people. It actually stopped a couple people from coming. I actually shared it, and I got a whole bunch of different messages from different people. They said a whole bunch of different things about thoughts that I should do and other things. It was a huge thing that some people were actually saying that I shouldn't do this. But there are people here who aren't a part of this, and I wanted to still do it for those people. So let's talk about the positive things, right? So a little bit about me, and I think that actually, Steve, if I'm not mistaken, you were at the gallery and we talked about this picture. If I'm not mistaken, hold on.
Your black and white presentation.
Yeah, with the monkey with the giant white testicles, right? That was how I remember that moment that we talked about. Right, and so I did that gallery in Wasaga, and I also did a presentation at Algonquin, and those were sort of like my 2 big things. I also got that cool opportunity, and this is what I do around here, is I take people to go and see local wildlife. I've saved sandhill cranes, I've seen snowy owls with people. Kids take the day off school so that they can come and do cool activities with me. And while we're on these trips, we don't just look for like one animal. Like I'm looking for foxes one day and I see an Arctic tern. I also see a mink. I see Canada goose. But I also see a red fox. Has everybody here seen a red fox?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, well, we'll come back to that in a little bit. So, most of you, I don't think, actually know very much about me, so I'm going to tell you a couple more things about me. I'm actually really silly. So I'm photobombing this picture, and I have no clue who is taking the picture, or who's in this picture. But I photobombed it because I think it's hilarious, and Steve asked me at like 5 p.m. on Friday if I could make a presentation about phone photography. So this is the difference between phone photography and a camera. Having the proper camera, you'll actually notice that the actual moose is in the background of that cell phone photography. So having the right equipment is super important. Because one day you hope that you get that cool moment and you see an awesome animal and you get that picture. And if you had it on your cell phone, you might not be able to do much with it, but you hope that one day it ends up in a magazine.
Wow.
What's pretty cool is there's a narwhal tusk in my hand, and that's from the ground up to my nose. And the most interesting thing about the narwhal tusk is it's actually hollow on the inside. Most of you, when you travel, you probably hang out and you go to resorts, or maybe sometimes you do community things that you set up through the Rotary Club. Well, I do something way different. I do it on my own. I go to the local schools, groups, and I do a presentation for the kids. In 2020, I did it for 2 different groups. And I assume that we all know about karma, and karma, I think, is a very powerful, powerful thing. And I think it's something that I love to talk about in every one of my presentations. And you can walk in the door if you want. I think someone just got in the door. Right, so karma, there's good and there's bad karma. And so I went into, and does anyone here know about Kingston, Jamaica? Yeah? What about Trenchtown, Kingston, Jamaica? Okay, so most people in this room probably would never go to Trenchtown, Kingston, Jamaica. It's a safety issue. If you live on this side of the street, you can't go to that side of the street just to try to sum it up. Right, but I went into that community and I went to I did 2 presentations for different groups. Because they were accepting of me and we had an awesome time. I talked, and we also brought food and drinks for those children that I was presenting to, because they might not have another meal that day. And then 2 days after these pictures got shared, my phone rang. Jason, do you want to be in a music video? I said yes. And that, I think, is an example of instant good karma. Something fun that happens because you did something good for someone else. When I travel, I love to do presentations. I was in India, and I'm looking for lions, leopards, tigers, and snow leopards. And while I'm there, I decided that I wanted to connect with the locals, and I set up a presentation for the people at our resort or hotel that we were staying at. And I actually got a translator so that more people would actually be able to understand the words that were coming out of my mouth, because I think the messages I share are actually important. And they loved it. Some of you might have heard of a sandhill crane, and they actually hang out in this area. They're about a 3-foot bird with a 4-foot-long razor sharp beak. And I actually got the opportunity to save one. And it was really cool because it actually ended up on the front cover of a local magazine. When I travel, I also like to interact with animals. So in Jamaica, I actually swam with and saw a mother turtle lay 200 baby eggs, and I was, or sorry, not baby eggs, just eggs, and I was close enough that I could actually catch them. I helped move some eggs, and I watched 800 babies crawl across the sand and into the water, and I went swimming with some of them. And if any of these stories are interesting to you, I have awesome videos that go with it. I also like to try to take care of the environment, right, personally. So when I'm in Jamaica, I sometimes go lionfish hunting because it's an invasive species. And so I went out and I shot, killed, and took apart this venomous animal, and then I cooked it and I ate it, and I put a little bit of crazy Canuck hot sauce on it. Right? It's delicious. It's one of actually the best fish that I've ever tasted in my life. And I highly suggest if you ever get the opportunity that you do it. On one of these trips, I dived down 70 feet I go across a shipwreck, I swim through 3 drug planes. It was awesome. I then see a turtle in the distance and I swim to it. On my way back, I see a lionfish. Bang! I kill it. First shot, I'm super pumped. Then I see a spotted ray, 70 feet underwater. Then I run out of air. But I kept the camera going, and there's a really cool video of this experience on my YouTube channel. Let's get a little bit of participation. What is this animal? You can shout it out.
Squid, jellyfish, octopus.
No.
Squid.
It is a squid. Good job. What about this animal? Oh, it's an albino squirrel. That's awesome that you noticed that. What about this animal?
Shark.
Shark. What? Let's be more specific.
Great white.
It is a great white shark, and that's an awesome animal to be able to see. I'm going to tell you though, it is terrifying when it swims and it hits the cage while you're in it. My favorite animal is an owl, and just like life's problems, if you focus on the outside noise, you can't see it. You got to focus on the root of the problem. You might be able to spot it. This is an eastern screech owl. That eastern screech owl was taken in Collingwood. This is a boreal owl that was taken in Stainer. This is another one that was taken in Stainer. This is a barred owl. Then this picture I call the wink, and it is a saw-whet owl. This is a northern hawk owl, and it's the only owl I've ever seen hunting. Yes?
Repeat the name of the owl, sorry.
Eastern screech owl, boreal owl, barred owl, saw-whet owl, and northern hawk owl. And so this owl is the only one I've ever seen hunting. And it actually, or this is the first one I ever saw hunting. What it does that's really cool is it will actually stash its food around the forest in the spring, summer, fall, because it's easier to find food. And then in the winter time, it goes back to those spots and it sits on them to warm them up. It's pretty amazing. And then we've got some baby eastern screech owls because they're super cool. And it's awesome to be like in the tree. Like it would be so amazing if you were like in the tree, hanging out with an animal, and then you look down. But it would be terrifying if when you look down from that tree, you saw a leopard. But luckily I'm not in the tree.
No.
I'm in a hot air balloon, 2,000 feet up in the sky, and we floated down. Another animal that most people really enjoy is the lion. And what's awesome about a pride of lion is that the women do most of the work. What a shock. The tallest animal in the world. And something that I find interesting about it is that each one of the giraffes has a different pattern. Just like we have different fingerprints, you might not be able to see with the ones that are crossing their neck that they're different, but you can see from those ones to the other 3 that probably the pattern is different if you have decent eyesight. Some of us worry about when we're driving about a bunny crossing the road. In Africa, they have to worry about an elephant. The elephant is about the size of a garbage can. And a lot of these pictures are amazing. Hopefully you've enjoyed them. But this is actually one of my favorite pictures. It's a rhino bum. Right? And I'm going to tell you that a little bum is better than no bum. No joke. This is a northern white rhino. Does anybody know anything about the northern white rhino? There's only 2 females left anywhere in the world. In this area, they are considered extinct. Remember what I just said, a little bum is better than no bum. When I was a kid, my favorite animal was really fast. And when I was in Africa, I got to see a mom and a cub. And this cub went out and it was chasing a Thompson gazelle, and it was awesome. And it got within a car length of the Thompson gazelle, but it zigged, I think, when it should have zagged, and the Thompson gazelle got away. But for some of you, I think I might be going a little bit fast, so I'm just going to slow it down for a second. For the other ones that didn't get the joke,
Yeah.
I'm going to explain it to you. This is a sloth. Went from it, it's okay, I won't explain it anymore. So this is a three-toed sloth, and most people actually think that sloths are a little bit ugly. But maybe we can all agree that a baby sloth is kind of cute. Does anyone in here fish? No. So I love fishing, and one day I was out fishing, and I was throwing my line into the good holes and the bad holes, and I wasn't catching a thing. Wasn't even getting a bite. It was a horrible day of fishing, and then out of the corner of my eye, something came walking towards me, and I thought that it was like a cat coming to kill me, like a puma, because it was big. And as I turned, I noticed that it was a baby deer. And this baby deer was super cute, and it actually came and it sat down right beside me, because it, I'm assuming, sensed the positive and good energy that I had. And it sat down right beside me, and what most people probably would have done is they would have wanted to touch it. But the moment you touch a baby deer, you probably actually kill it. Because the way that a baby deer hides and protects itself is it has no scent. So you touch it, you put your scent on it, now that baby deer is dead. So I didn't touch it, I enjoyed it. I did take a selfie with it though. But since I think that all of us are a little bit past maturity, I think that we can actually talk about the largest deer I've ever seen in my life. And so this deer is actually looking to mate. I've tracked this deer family for the winter. It's actually in Streetsville on Wasaga Road. Just for the Streetsville people in this area, they will appreciate it a little more. So this deer is, for every, I'm there, and every 5 minutes it goes sniffy, sniffy, licky, licky, and I'm getting excited, but 45 minutes goes by and I'm bored. And so I walk away, and then I'm like, I didn't get the picture I wanted, so I turn back and I take one more picture. And the deer stuck his tongue out and winked at me. And now this starts some stupid trend of all these animals sticking their tongue out at me. Yes, I do have the picture of them mating, don't worry, because it happened right after this picture. But it's not in this presentation because I didn't know if everyone was mature enough to handle that fun. One day I was driving in Algonquin Park and the road moved. And as the driver, you can't tell people in the car that the road just moved on you, because that would be terrifying. And so I tell people nothing, and I just sit there, and then all of a sudden this head crosses the middle of the road. And there is this Algonquin wolf staring back at me. This is my first of 2 wolves I've seen. And this one, it stuck its tongue out. I'm going to get political for a second here. And I don't mean to be offensive to anybody by this next comment. But this next photo, I call Trump. Then he became president and it was no longer funny, so it's now just referred to as wild beauty. Another picture that people really love is this one. This is Moose in the Mist, and I love it. And I hope that you've enjoyed getting to know a little bit about my highlight stories. But now I want to show you some photos, and it's based on that presentation or that gallery that I actually hosted at Springbridge Gallery. What's awesome is a lot of people actually really enjoyed this gallery that I set up, that I got brought to Mississauga and Riverwood Conservancy to do a presentation. Berry Community Library now has me doing a presentation with them. Making change actually has me going to multiple classrooms every year to do this presentation. And this presentation is based simply on a picture's worth 1,000 words. I'm not great with my words, but I got some pretty cool pictures. So I talked about a picture early, right? And you'll see one big monkey and a little one. The little one. Does it look happy, relaxed, or does it look mad and stressed out? It looks super relaxed to me. What about this one? It looks mad. I don't think anybody in here is a monkey expert. I'm not, but I took that picture. Does anybody know what a monkey does when it's upset? It tosses its feces. So I take this picture, and because I'm observant, I can see that that monkey is upset, just like you guys can, all the way in the back row. And I went and I showed it to the guy, and I was like, yo. And that guy was like, oh my goodness. And he's quickly runs, and guides are really slow normally. If you've ever been on a trip, guides are like, doo-doo-doo. This guy was like, boom. Took it to the boat driver and was like, hey! And he yells out, everybody hold on. He slams into reverse without even waiting for us to hold on. As we drive away, that monkey goes. But because we've now given it space, it doesn't throw its feces at us. And everybody on that boat appreciates the fact that I noticed in this little picture on the back of my camera that monkey was upset. So if you can tell by looking at this picture that a monkey is upset, maybe you can tell that about your friends and your family, and maybe give them space when they're having a bad day. For some of you, this may look like a horse, but they're zebras. And how does a zebra protect itself? It hangs out with other zebras, because the animal that hunts it can't distinguish it from another zebra because they blend together. That's its camouflage, hanging out with its friend. This next animal I'm going to show you, you've all held in your hand. And I only know like 4 or 5 of you in this room, and I know that you've all held it in your hand. And it's black and white. Does anyone have a guess what that animal is? It's okay, I don't want to shout it out either, I totally get it. But that's the animal. You've all held a balloon, right? Why are you laughing?
Oh, I'm assuming you mean a loony.
Thank you. 100%. That is, you've all held a loony at some point, correct? But don't worry, I have actually saved 2 loons. Actually, both of them here in Wasaga Beach, because people know to look me up on social media. Because I try to help them save animals. But the reason I actually told you that loony joke was actually to set up this next joke. I call this photo To Me. And the reason I call this picture so important is because these 2 loons are hugging. And I think that that is something that's super important and not done enough of in today's day and age. And if the animals can do it, we should be able to do it. And I know I love a good hug, and I think most other people love a good hug. So I think that we should probably do it a little bit more. But this animal was black with white spots. This next animal was white with black spots. Sorry, I might have mixed that up, but you understand what I'm getting at. This picture was taken around here, but most people actually think that snowy owls live way up in the Arctic. But if you wait until November, till March, you might get to see a snowy owl on your drive. If you want help, give me a call, or you can drop my name into Google Maps, any social media, Jason George, before you write photography. it will actually show up and we can connect, and I can try to show you an owl. I've actually seen 14 on one drive. One of my favorite animals is a penguin. So, what color are they? Black and white, so they fit. Do they fly?
No.
Not really. Cool. Can they slide?
Yeah.
What do they slide on?
Ice.
Ice. What do they eat? Sorry? Their butt, did you say? Yeah, their butt. They also, their stomach. What do they eat? Fish. They also eat some squid, like the picture I showed you. Do they swim? Yeah. Are we all positive about the things that we just said? You're now terrified because I just asked that question, right? Where's the ice? Where's the snow? These penguins, they're in South Africa. I've seen them also in the Galapagos Islands where I've swam with them. TV, media, lying to us. Unless you watch the movie Madagascar. I thought this was going to be one of the coolest moments I ever had with penguins. This random dude playing a song he learned in India to me and just the penguins. It was awesome. There were so many penguins, and if you look in the background, you can see beaches and houses. Just like Wasaga Beach, but they're penguins zipping around. So cool. They also have great white sharks, so it might be terrifying. But again, unfortunately, media sometimes lies to us, which actually brings us back to this whole conversation that we started this presentation with, right? But let's think about, has anyone here ever asked someone to take a picture before? Right? You go to like the Canadian, the CN Tower, and you ask someone to take a picture of you. And they normally miss you or whatever. One day I saw someone, I was like, hey, can you take a picture of me, the purple shirt, and the fox? And someone takes the best picture ever of me. They got me and the red fox. And they also got a rainbow. It's so cool. They actually got the picture of me with the red fox in it. I'm shocked that no one questioned me.
Yeah.
Some of you looked a little bit closer and you're like, but Jay, it's not a red fox. So let's actually look at the picture I'm taking. That is a red fox. And you're gonna be like, but Jay, what drugs were you smoking? And I'm gonna say none at that point. But when we talk about a red fox, unfortunately, someone put the word red in front of it, and it's trained as you've all seen a red fox, or most of you have, and it looked like this. But it didn't actually look like this, it was a different mix of color. We look around this room, we're all different colors, but we're all still human. This red fox has red hair, white hair, and black hair. This one has black hair, a lot of it, a little white hair, and if you look on its back, it has a little bit of red hair. Her brothers and sisters look like that. Her babies look exactly like that. She lives in downtown Toronto. There was just one actually hit in Midland 5 days ago that I was sent a picture of it, asked if I wanted to get a taxidermy. I didn't have the money to do it because it's a little expensive to taxidermy. But I've only ever seen one of these alive. And it's probably the most beautiful fox I've ever seen. Although it's different. And it stuck its tongue out. I've also seen something that's called a cross fox, which is actually a red fox that just has more black hair than red hair. And I think it's a pretty cool and awesome animal. And what is it? You've all held it in your hand, is your clue. You haven't held a moose in your hand. Oh, where have you held a caribou? On the quarter. Yes, we are correct. For those of you who couldn't see the caribou, there it is. So I talked about seeing owls, and I want to be helpful to you as a group. So I want you to be able to see an owl on your own. So I'm going to teach you how to find an owl. There's a snowy owl in this picture. Does anybody see it? It's on top of the post. There we go. That is the easiest spot to spot a snowy owl. If you drive the roads around here, November to March, I promise you, you will see a snowy owl. Eventually. If you pay attention to every single post and not the cars. You see it in this picture. They're not all on the posts. Sometimes they're on the ground because they're eating. But there's no owl in this picture. And every owl I've shown you so far has been a female snowy owl. And a female snowy owl is is white with black dots. A male snowy owl is all white. So basically you need to find a snowy owl in this picture when I show you a new version of it. But you're driving 80 kilometers in your car because that's the posted limit and you would not drive faster than that. Right, John?
Right.
Exactly. So we're driving 80 kilometers and we're looking for a snowball in the snow. And I'm going to actually tell you where it is so you can find it. It's right there in that purple dot. Okay, so we're going to look at the picture because I stopped my car. I zoom in, you can see it, people. Okay, fine, I take another step. For some of you, you're like, Jay, I don't see anything, so there it is.
Oh, yeah.
And the eyes are actually looking at you to make it easy, but I'm driving. Remember, we're driving 80. Because John's a good guy, he doesn't go faster than 80. So we're only going 80. And we spot this owl. What makes this experience awesome is I stopped my car. I got out. I took a picture. I took another step. I took a picture. And then I walk back. I get in my car and I drive away. And that owl is still sitting there. I have not disturbed it, I haven't bothered it. I've been a respectful wildlife photographer. I enjoyed this animal from a distance, but I still got a really cool and awesome experience. Some of you might think I'm a little bit crazy for some of the stories that I've told you. And I totally agree with you, and that's why I have a hot sauce called Crazy Canuck. I told you that I was dyslexic. Well, it is true, but I've also written books. With all of my struggles, I still try to find time to write books. And I wrote these books, and we created one on Africa and Canada, and we translated it to French, because we wanted to be inclusive to the people. Because in Canada, we're bilingual. And then someone saw these books, and they were like, yo, Jay, you've got learning disabilities. Let's talk about it. So we made a book about that. Then we also were like, hey, why not make an app? And while we were doing all of this, someone was like, what about the kids? And everybody knows Jay likes kids. So hey, Jay decided to create some books about some kids and their learning disabilities. He's different, she's different, we are all different. We all learn differently. We all look different. We've also started looking at each different person in this story. And then our app came out, it's available on Google Play and at the Apple Store. And in the video, you can, in the jungle Jay, because that's me in the purple shirt, in case you couldn't tell, that is a representation that actually looks like me. And you take pictures of animals and then you spell the word. You can also do math skills, adding and subtracting. But I don't think that kids should just be spending their time on their phones, so I created a handheld card game, where it's sort of like a memory game. It's great for those that are really old, to keep their memory sharp and see 24 of my favorite animals in Canada. But the coolest and probably most interesting thing that I've written is actually this book series. It's called Going Deeper with Jason George. I talk about all of these different animals: foxes, moose, cheetahs, penguins, owls, leopards, snow leopards, lions. We talk about all kinds of things. We talk about them hanging out. We talk about them mating. We talk about them tracking their food. We talk about their poop. We talk about everything. And then to make it cooler, you can actually color some of the stories or photos in that book. Because that's how you engage your audience. You make it multi-level. Oh, and hey, if you want to watch a video of that animal, you can look at the YouTube video and you can color the actual animal as it comes to life. Remember this picture here. We'll see it in a little bit, I promise you. Some people really like the sound of my voice, so I created some sleep meditation music. I also sometimes don't feel so pretty, so I have some buffs to protect me from the bugs, because they think I'm sweet. I also have some jewelry that I have, which is that massive ring. I have a really amazing natural history museum with skulls, bones, antlers, dinosaur footprint, multiple taxidermied animals, and things probably I can't tell you about. I've also started a wildlife club, which is super cool, where we do really awesome things. Next year, we're going to an ice cream parlor. We're doing a rock talk. We're going to help some wildlife. We're going to do a beach cleanup at some point. We're going to learn how to forage and live off of the land. We're going to go to the taxidermy place and probably go back into the processing room with 5-year-olds, like we did 2 years ago. We've got a fishing derby, a fish house tour, and all kinds of other awesome things that we've set up. And because I'm a little bit messed in the head, I'm going to let my kids cut my hair October 5th for the Humane Society if we raise enough money, or if I get enough YouTube subscribers. If we get even more, then I have to keep it for a day. What's actually crazy is I've looked at the schedule for the Blue Jays game, and I've started this awesome charity that was brought up earlier. It's called Epic First, and we've been offered Blue Jay playoff tickets. And if I do the math correctly, we've got a Blue Jays game October 5th right after my haircut. So I might have to wear my haircut. And for those of you that have no clue about what Epic First is, it's where the community donates money and tickets so that I can take different special needs people to sporting events. It's random people that I don't know, some people I know, and I take them to this awesome game and I ask them what they want to do. And I make that event happen. All by myself. Normally the last event I went with, it was me with 3 special needs people that I don't really know. Most of the time it's one-on-one, and we have a great time. Some of you might actually know some of the people that are in these pictures. Maybe you can actually go on my YouTube channel and watch one of these videos if you're having a bad day. I promise you, when you see us high-fiving the Leafs and the smiles on their face, or us at center court at the end of a Raptors game, or meeting the Blue Jays, being in an Austin Matthews commercial, man, it's amazing. We raised $8,100 so that Chloe could get a feeding robot in under 31 hours. Just by myself, not a big club, just one random person asking his community, because my community is amazing and normally super supportive. In 2026, I am off to hopefully South Africa at some point potentially, hoping to open up this trip to a whole group of people. But let's look at some other animals quickly for a second. And I do hope that you've actually really enjoyed this, and I hope that you've actually seen your favorite animal. But I forget your name, but you're in the back row, and you actually brought up an awesome conversation, which leads into my next couple slides. You asked about animals in a different country, so I actually have an awesome presentation on African wildlife, where it's called Tracking African Wildlife, where I hang out with lions at nighttime. There is an awesome video on almost every one of these next few slides. So hanging out with lions at nighttime is terrifying when the light spots the lion, moves away from the lion, comes back to where the lion was. That is absolutely terrifying. But it's actually not as terrifying as when 100 baboons come running at you, and you were by yourself and you saved 2 people who would be dead today. The baboons come running at me and I pick up a stone, and if I didn't hit that baboon in the chest with that stone that was in my hand, I would not be here today. And there's an awesome video about this and the path that we went on. And so I talked about those coloring sheets. And here's the picture. You can actually watch the video of me saving a penguin, which is actually the coolest thing I've ever probably done with a penguin. Because I actually got to touch and help it, because I love to actually help other animals and people. And I said tracking, so if we're going to track animals, we got to track something. And so if you look in this picture, you'll actually see me standing on the ground. That bear is the cheetah, and I am here. That's how close I am at one point to those 3 wild cheetahs while I'm standing on the ground. And then I also talked about leopards in that experience. But when we were talking, I also brought up a story about India. And I went to India looking for some animals, and most people when they go to India, they are looking for one animal, and that is the tiger. And I spent 4 hours with this beautiful animal. I also went after an animal that most people don't see, the leopard. And we got to see baby 4-month-old leopards. I actually got to go inside a leopard's den. I actually went inside multiple. It was super cool. And then I went after an animal that most people have no clue actually live in India. Don't worry, I won't ask you and embarrass anybody in this room. But if I asked you where a lion lived, most people would say Africa. But if you remember the Jungle Book, that was filmed in India. But we're often brainwashed. So this is actually lions in India. There's a small spot in India that has lions, which is super cool. And then there's another animal that most people are way too busy to actually go after and look for. The ghost of the mountain. That is the snow leopard. And I actually have not only seen one snow leopard, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but I've actually seen 6 snow leopards in the wild. I've actually fed a snow leopard, not in the wild, which is what that close picture of is. The one on the bottom is actually 2 8-month-old cubs running. The one in the top is snow leopards mating. You can actually watch a video, or if you buy a book, you can flip through and you can actually see the tail come up. I'm actually about to go to Brazil soon to go looking for jaguars. And I'll have another presentation hopefully on jaguars, anacondas, and all the other awesome animals that live in the Amazon. Some of you, though, might see me in other areas, because sometimes I'm on TV. That music video is being reshot next Sunday, and it should hopefully come out soon. There's actually some music videos that are out there, and maybe you're an Amazing Race fan. Season 11 just came out. When there's 4 people left, look for me in the background. Right? I'm sorry that the person in the flyer did not show up. I really hope that I did it justice, and I hope that you enjoyed our journey about learning about animals of the world. I hope that you have fun. I hope that you add me to social media and my YouTube channel so that I have to keep my hair for the Blue Jays game. Right? It's for a good cause, it's a lot of fun, and the kids in my wildlife club will love to cut my hair. Right? If you want to donate, you can donate directly through a link. It goes right to the Humane Society. But I did say if you held your questions till the end, I promised that I would answer them all. Right? If you have any questions about anything that I have shared about my life, now is your opportunity, because I promise you, I will answer every single question, openly and honestly. Do we have any questions? Yes.
I always enjoy when you talk about your experiences of, finding like the snowy owl in the ground and the different things that you become aware of. And, is it serendipity or is it an awareness? How is it that you're in the right place at the right time?
So there's an amazing video that if you watch it, it was actually, legitimately, it's on my Instagram, but it's also on my YouTube channel. It is an amazing video, and you see me driving. And I am the driver, and I am driving, and all of a sudden, I'm talking to football fields in the distance. I literally was like, there's a moose. And honestly, I have no clue how I was positive, but I pulled my car over. The person I was leading the tour to Algonquin Park for the day was like, what are you talking about? I was like, that was a moose. I got my big camera and my big tripod out, and I brought it, because I'm lazy, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna tell you right now, Jay is lazy, he doesn't want to carry his big camera because flip him heavy, right? But I knew that there was a moose, and I got to a safe location, and some lady's like, what are you looking at? I was like, there's a moose, and she's like, no. I was like, yeah, right there. You can actually hear my excitement when I'm like, yeah, there's a moose. And that's a baby moose with it. I think 100 to 300 people stopped on the side of the road. I didn't even know what they were looking at, but I actually let them look on the back of my screen on my tripod so they would actually be able to see what was way in the distance. And it was an awesome experience. I don't know how I see stuff. I honestly, if we're being truthful, I think it's actually because I'm dyslexic. Right, and I'm going to say that because I'm dyslexic, I don't actually read every word. I read a musical pattern.
Yeah, almost like vibration.
Right, so I see this like musical pattern, it's like, da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh wait, that was wrong, and I go back and I look. I was driving and I saw a brown dot. That was different than it should have been. And I was positive that was a moose. I was driving, John, 80 kilometers, because that's the speed limit. Right? So it is an intuition, I think I sense their energy. I believe that an animal wants me to see it if I'm going to see it. Right? And so I don't know how to control it, but I know I've seen some things that I shouldn't have seen, and I then it's awesome when I get to share that experience. Yes?
Jason, tell us about the music steps. We had 3 books. Music, dancing words.
Oh, so dancing words is so dancing words is, so I'm dyslexic. Like a B looks like a D, looks like a Q, looks like a P. Right? It's a circle with a stick, depending on where you put the stick. Right? So dancing words is just a whole bunch of letters. Good luck figuring out what the word is. It's sometimes 3 letters, sometimes it's 5 letters. It's sort of like that tumble game where you get like 1 or 2 wrong and you got to try to figure out what the word is, except we give you the letters. It's just a fun way to make you think outside the box, because a lot of people are stuck in the box, so let's create some cool activities. Yeah?
So I'm always interested in local situation where we're doing a lot, development is happening a lot in the state. There's something we can't really too much about it. But I have an indigenous friend in town, and he's always telling me, oh, I saw a fox, oh, I saw a deer. And sometimes, because of what's happening, he finds a dead deer as it's on the road.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, in your life of looking for animals, looking at animals, have you found that they've had to migrate around Wasaga to avoid the development, or you're finding that?
So I actually don't see many deer in Wasaga. I actually go to Streetsville when I want to see deer. I know that's silly, but the last time I wanted to see a deer, I went to Wasaga, or to Mississauga, to a spot. I literally got to that spot and was like, oh, there's 5 deer.
Well, maybe it's already.
Here, I don't think there's many deer, but I do know that they're moving around, and like animals are able to adapt very well.
Yeah.
So, yes, John.
Jason, I'm just so impressed with your presentation,
Thank you.
and
I appreciated our talk earlier too, but
I'm just disappointed in myself that where the heck have I been that I didn't know about you and how talented you are, and I meet you for the first time tonight, and you've been at this for many years, and so I'm critical of myself that what have I done wrong that we missed the togetherness?
I agree. That's an awesome comment. I appreciate that. I'm sometimes low key. I share fun videos about me doing animals. I don't know if you're on Facebook that much, but that's where I share a lot of my stuff. But I look forward to getting to know you better, and hopefully we can even go on an adventure one day, and I can show you an animal or two so that you can enjoy. Because we have amazing, and a lot of people don't realize the amazing animals that we actually have just in Wasaga. And you can see anywhere from a bald eagle to a bear, which is rare, but you could also see otters on the water. I'm actually in the process of hunting for a cougar, 2-legged, not the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for a 4-legged cougar. Way more excited than a 4-legged cougar. But they are potentially in the area, and that's the one animal that I would love to see in this area.
You might be able to help John find the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I've actually helped the Stanley Cup.
Beef and our fan.
So I have actually held the Stanley Cup a couple of times, and I was taught to skate by a person that you might know. His name is Johnny Battle.
Yeah.
His daughter taught me to skate. And I've hung out multiple times with like Doug Gilmore and Wendell Clark and Rick Five.
Yes.
Rick Five knows me well enough to slap me on the bum.
Yeah.
He walked up to me, I didn't know it was him, and he slapped me on the bum. I was like, oh, hey, we're on those terms. I was like, that's amazing.
We have our home is right at the mouth of the river.
Okay.
And it was, I'm going to say 2 days ago, that we saw this bird that I've never seen before. So my wife goes in to get the bird book out, and we're trying to flip through the book. And the first thing we say, it's a stork. And then we got, and I think it was
a sandhill crane, most likely.
It was incredible, and it was.
Was it brown or was it gray?
Well, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're
very tall, and I couldn't even tell it was there,
So then it was a sandhill crane, because they blend in very well.
Yeah.
So, and if you're an Argos fan, I have an awesome Argos video. And my next epic first is we're going to the Argos game. And what's amazing is, although it's not like a real charity yet, is the Argos have actually reached out to me, and we're having a phone call. Me and I think it's 4 of them to set up my Argos event on October 4th. And we'll most likely end up on the field, and we'll probably run into pinball and get a shot with him.
You'll have no hair on that.
No, that is the 4th. The 5th, I might look similar to your hair.
Well, I was going to ask you, what are you doing?
Same barber.
What are you doing with the hair? Like, is there a chance that I could have it?
I'll bag it up for you, and I can bring it to you if you like. So.
Do we have any more questions?
Yeah, great presentation, thank you. So where I live, I'll often hear coyotes howling like mad in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And I've talked to some people about it, and I'm wondering, is it because they've just made a kill?
So there's numerous reasons. One is they've made a kill. Sometimes they're just talking to each other and they're excited. Sometimes it's a territorial thing. It's not always like everybody thinks it's always a negative thing. Just how people like to talk, animals like to talk. Like I believe that even the fish talk. Like if you go in the water, if you actually tune out things, you can hear noises from the fish. I know this makes me sound crazier, but you know.
Okay, thanks. And the second question, do the loons stay far out in the bay? Because I've never seen any around.
In this bay, I've never seen them here, but I know that they do come in this area because I saved the one loon where I'm in the purple shirt.
Yeah.
That loon was actually saved at like 45 and 26. It was in a little pond there, and I got called to it.
Off 45th and 26th?
Yeah, or 7 and 26, right at that like the random gas station.
Oh, okay.
There's a little pond that's right behind that gas station,
I see.
and I got called to save it there.
All right, thanks.
Sorry, your hand was up.
Can you tell us why you're always wearing purple?
Oh, that's a great question. So, purple, if you look over there and you look at all my books and even like my hot sauce and all of that, my teddy bear, just branding.
Just what?
It's just branding. It's marketing.
Branding.
I had one person who was driving on the road and they were like, oh man, there's someone in a purple shirt and a fro. That must be Jay.
Wow.
She pulled into the parking lot. It was one of my best friends that I haven't seen in 3 years. So my marketing and branding has done a great job of people are recognizing me or taking pictures with Bones. The other reason is that people don't like the color of my skin. And so if I am in the bush or I run into somebody, the person who doesn't like the color of my skin probably doesn't want me reaching into a bag to prove who I am. Doesn't want me reaching into my pockets to prove who I am. So if I have something on my shirt, I can just keep my hands here and be like, hey, you can look here. Right on my camera bag, there's a logo and all of that. Everything, almost every time I'm out in the forest, or actually, there was one time recently, I don't want to say where it is because you can locate where it is based on the videos that I posted, but I was actually standing on the road and I was taking a picture of some foxes. This person knew that the foxes were there. 100%, because I know from other people who live there that he has come out to take pictures of said foxes. I was standing on the road, he came in, my camera's not even close to pointed at any houses or anything, but I see him pull in and he goes into his house, and to be like, hey, I'm not negative, I give him a wave. I get no wave back. We talked about that energy with animals, I have energy for other things too. He doesn't wave back, and I actually said, oh fuck. Not out loud, just in my head. He opens his house door, beep, 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 to his car, and I beeped my car multiple times, but there was a way that he did it. I was like, uh-oh. And there happened to be a white girl in the car. And I said, cops are coming. What are you talking about? I was like, cops are coming. But he came from this direction. He saw my camera. Cop came 20 minutes later, or less than 20 minutes later, from this direction. Didn't see my camera, and he came over the hill at about 20 kilometers an hour. But I knew I had time to prepare because I knew what was happening. Cop comes over the hill, he rolls out, I'm like, all right, come and talk to him, because I know I'm allowed to stand on the road. I'm not taking any pictures of anybody's houses. I'm not doing anything wrong. Cop's like, what are you doing? He's like, take pictures of the fox. He's like, oh. I was like, yeah. He's like, because the foxes are common, everybody knows about them in this community. Because it's within 20, I think it's 25 minutes from where I'm standing right now. Cop's like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm just here to take pictures. He's like, his face is like, why the fuck am I here? Pardon my language. And he says that with his face, and I was like, oh, why are you here? He's like, I'm just doing my rounds. And he's doing what he's supposed to do. I have no ill will against this cop. Someone called the cops and he has to do his job. And so he, sitting there, we're chatting. Now we're having a conversation. I reach into my pocket because I told him I'm a photographer. And he's like, oh, cool. Now we're friendly. Boom, I reach into my pocket and I'm like, here's my business card. He's like, oh shit, you're serious. I was like, yeah. He then sees my camera. He's like, what? And he says, why am I here? I was like, you tell me. He now, awkward face, and you can actually watch the video because it's on my Instagram of the whole situation. Well, not like the cop situation, but there's video timestamping it when it happened. You can actually see, or I watch him, I should say, him drive away, not at 20 kilometers, but like 100 kilometers. But he was just in the area. And that was not very long ago. So that is why I wear a purple shirt. One, for branding, but also because I want to stay safe and not put my hands in my pocket.
Yeah.
So that's a great question. Thank you.
Interesting, yeah, interesting answer. And Jason, are you gonna stay around right after the meeting and maybe we can have, everybody can have a look at what you have over there?
Sure. I hope that you enjoyed that presentation, and now you're here and you want to learn more about that awkward flyer that was released. So Friday, August 15th at around 8 a.m., this flyer was released, and I was confused because that's not me. And I've already done a presentation, and as you heard, he actually remembers me from a gallery that he approved me to do. So when this flyer came out, I was really confused, and I asked what was going on, and the response I got just didn't sit right with me. And it took 6 messages and 2 hours for me to get my first apology. I had turned to social media to try to figure out what to do, and I got a whole range of responses. But I did decide to do the presentation because there were a lot of other people there in that presentation who would appreciate what I was talking about. What made the situation even weirder is I was supposed to meet on Sunday at around 8 o'clock with the president. But I got a message at 8:01 saying that she was running late, and at 9 o'clock, she would now be coming by with Steve. What? Okay, well now that changed my plans to have a friendly conversation from in this space to us meeting outside my house. And I talked to him about a couple of things, and he offered me this dusty wall hanging and a small, tiny bottle of Haitian rum, which I returned to him, and I told him I asked for an apology before my presentation on the Monday. So we've gone Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Hopefully I would get an apology before that presentation, I would assume. And they chose to do it right before I did my presentation in front of everybody. And so here you can listen to the end of the beginning of the presentation you just watched.
We have a few things we do at the beginning, but we're going to go right into something very important. So I'm going to skip some of the usual introductions tonight. And I even like to sometimes start with a joke, but this evening is different, very different. And so over the past 4 days, some unfortunate events have taken place. And because of that, I'm here tonight to offer a sincere apology to someone who is here in this room. And after I used in our promotional material was not an image of Jason, and we understand how unacceptable and hurtful that was, plus our responses on Facebook made things worse. So the volunteer who created the material will be offering his own personal apology to Jason. But the club has learned some valuable lessons from this situation, and we need to evaluate and make some changes. Jason George is a respected photographer and valued member of our community whose work deserves to be presented with accuracy and respect. We regret that our actions failed to reflect that. We are grateful to Jason for his time and contributions to our community, and we are committed to moving forward with the respect and care that he deserves. This apology is now on a public site on Facebook, and I will turn this over now to Steve for a further apology.
Thank you, President Kathleen, fellow Rotarians and guests, special guest Jason. This is a formal public apology statement to Jason. And Jason, thank you. I'm deeply sorry for the mistake. As you know, I made creating the event poster. The image that went out did not show you, and I understand how hurtful and disrespectful that was. I also recognize that my initial reaction to the issue made things worse, and I regret that deeply. The error was not a deliberate act, but it was a mistake that I made, and it's my responsibility to get things right. You deserve to be represented accurately and with respect, and I sincerely apologize for falling short of that standard. As a step towards making an amends, I will be making a personal donation to Epic First, the organization that you founded that brings such meaningful experiences to people in our community. My focus now is on earning back trust and moving forward with greater understanding.
Well, once he makes his donation at the end of August, we can fully put this behind us. Well, I hope that you've learned a little bit and you enjoyed my presentation. Until next time, stay safe, have fun, and keep enjoying the wildlife.